Drought, a Pokemon Creepypasta. There are some Pokemon fans you can tell at a glance I'm not at a glance. I don't talk about someone who has enough knowledge of metagame strategies to win every battle or can't tell you the exact stats or move of any of the 600 odd Mons. I am referring to those who grew up along with the Pokemon saga. For people like us who play games from all generations for years, it's easy to tell an original Pokemon cartridge when you see one, and so did I. It was a fresh Friday of autumn, the kind of days you can still go around in t-shirt and shorts but can already feel the chills of the middle season. My brother and I both own a copy of Pokemon Platinum, but he had lost interest in the game after a while and has started to play with my cartridge. Not that I minded. As a Pokemon lover, he was almost as seasoned as I am, and he had never done idiotic things like overwriting my save file, releasing my team, or breaking my winning streak at the Battle Frontier. However, all of this meant we had a copy of Platinum, too many. I was hoping to trade it in at some video game shop. I was just on my way there where I saw upon a group of kids playing with various Nintendo consoles, brand new DSs mostly, but also a couple of good old GPAs that were in surprisingly good condition. Interesting, I took a peek at one of them and saw he was playing Pokemon Emerald. I quickly struck up a conversation. His name was Franco, and it was obviously that he totally was into Pokemon. He showed me his DS and Pokemon games collection, which had about Pokemon and other video games, had some battles, made a couple trades, and I didn't notice time was going by so fast until I noticed the sun was about to set, and it was too late to make it to dial down before the shops closed. And since it was the weekend, I have to wait for 3 days before they open again. While thinking, I complained about it to myself. We must have heard "Hey Me," because he said, "Actually, I'm missing Planet version. Would you like to barter?" I didn't know what he had to offer, but I heard that sometimes you could find all kinds of rare stuff on Obvious Kids, from rare trading cards to save files with promotional Pokemon in them. I considered his offer. He showed me a cartridge that made my heart skip a beat. The sticker was stained and had partly peeled off, but the cartridge's translucent red color and what little of it I could make out left no doubt. It was the original honest-to-God Ruby cartridge. Examining it closely, the Nintendo logo, seal quality, everything else seemed in order, if not for that ruined sticker. You could have said it was in mint condition. It particularly interests me because I had never played the original Pokemon Ruby game. When it came out, I was too impatient to wait until it was available in the stores, so I had played on the emulator. By the time I could buy it, I had already finished it, and I didn't feel like playing it again. I had brought Sapphire instead, just for the guess to play in a different game from the one I had emulated. But I agree we quickly sealed a deal, and I came back home with my new possession. I left it in my room and went to have dinner, then went back to my room. When I found the cartridge, I found a crudely crayon-drawn Groudon on the front, and the words "Ruby version" has been fully filled in with marker. My brother was just playing at his computer, playing dumb, with a crayon marker still on the desk in front of him. Not too smart, but my revenge for his act of defacement would have to wait. I booted it up on my DS. Predictably enough, it has his game memorized. It was named, unsurprisingly, Franco. Had 7 badges in 80 or so hours of playtime. I stuck at the game and was treated to a completely white screen that blinded me for a second or so. Nothing else happened. I turned it off and back on and selected new game. The introductory screen with Professor Birch went out as smooth and normal as it could be. It must have been some glitch or so. I thought to myself, I played the same file again, and I thought could see something. Outlines of surprise, maybe a tree or two beyond the white screen. I couldn't focus on them much because my eyes would hurt if I stared at it for more than a few moments. I opened the menu, and the team screen opened up as usual. I look at his team. Nothing special. A Swallow, Blaziken, Lanoon, and Torpedo, all in their 40s and to 50s. Thinking perhaps the white was a glitchy fog effect. I tried moving around to see if I would end up in a different area Nothing. Hoping that with the black light, I would have a better chance at seeing things. I took the cartridge out and put it in my GBA SP. Sure enough, it was easier to see. The screen was still bright, but at least I could make out my surrounding. I was just outside of Littleroot, taken by a nostalgic feeling. I decided to visit the town, even though usually you don't have many reasons to do so. Perhaps a side effect of the bright screen, everything looked a little off. The green color of the grass and trees were slightly tinted to yellow. Even through the main character's sprite and everything else seemed fine, a palette or such. I was starting to regret buying a game in such bad condition, which was sure to have its fair share of glitches and other problems. It was still playable, so I went on. The music was a bit slower than I remember and slightly off pitch. The character's movement also was slow and chunky, as it was a PC game lagging from memory overload. It didn't trouble me that much. I knew I could expect all kind of weird stuff in that old game. The NPCs that were walking around were slower than when talked to. They would sometimes cut the conversation short after a sentence or two. I went up to my room and I found it full of decoration. Little rugs, a table, a chair, and dolls. He has obviously taken quite a lot of time furnishing it. Guessing I pick off where he left from. As well use fly to get to Sutopolis and get that last medal, but the Sutopolis area was grayed out. Franco must have quit the game after just busting Team Magma's hideout. He must have been pretty young when he played the game. Probably he didn't know how to reach it. I checked his torpedo, and sure enough, it didn't know dive. Even though he had done the HM, I was pretty surprised to see that his team was now at half HP, except for Blazing, which is at full health. I'm sure I can assume I was just too distracted to notice before. Deciding to take the long route around, I headed to Oldale first. Emily entered the Pokemon Center. In the scene, there was the oddest thing so far. There was a line of NPCs in front of the nurse's counter. Every few seconds, the first one of the line would exit the building, and another would join the queue. That was weird. In the whole emulate playthrough of Ruby, I had never seen such a scene. Franco had probably found out some secret event or got a promo Pokemon that would trigger this. I felt excited. Even after all these years, there was something in the Pokemon game I had never seen. I still needed to heal my Pokemon, so I had no choice but to join the queue and go along with them. When I finally reached the counter, I didn't even press A or anything. The nurse didn't say her usual welcome line, but she just turned towards the Pokemon Center machine, placed the 4 Pokeballs in it, and healed them. After giving them back, she simply said, "Next," and I quickly moved to the left and down out of the way. I tried to talk to the other NPCs in the queue, but got no response. The escalator to the second floor won't work. I checked the PC and looked at his boxes. I expected all his Pokemon except the team had on himself were at pretty much the same level at which he had caught them. What struck me as odd, since he didn't even have a full team, as he was challenging himself. I went to the Pokemart. There was a queue there too, far shorter than the one at the center. I guess good selection wasn't the usual through. They were only selling Pokeballs and Burn Heal. The weirdest thing was that Burn Heal was incredibly expensive at 1,500 yen each. Damn, I thought someone tempered with this cartridge. Perhaps a Game Shark? As I went north and then east, I noticed the card palette was acting funny again. Where normally there will be green, there was a sickly greenish yellow, and the water was a dimmer color as well. As I surfed through it, quite particularly, I was attacked by a wild Pokemon. It was a Wingull. What happened with the first battle caught me by surprise. The enemy Pokemon started the battle with only about half HP. Something I never thought possible in Pokemon. I saw Sharpedo and noticed its HP weren't at the max, but slightly less. I couldn't think of any reason for that, even if he had somehow activated the so-called acid rain glitch to cause continuous damage. I haven't even ran into any battle up to there, as he beat it with Crunch and went on. In the following battles, I noticed that even through I beat the wild Pokemon in one move without giving them a chance to attack, Sharpedo's health kept decreasing with every battle. I checked the team several times between battles, trying to give them healing items and berries, but their health kept slowly going down anyway. Even Blazing, who I thought immune to that mysterious health sapping effect, was receiving damage, only at a much slower pace. For such an old game, it sure had its share of a lot of these. It really is that at the pace I would have had to bring a lot of potions with me, and stop at any Pokemon Center I had the chance to visiting. That bothered me. I said I would delete the save file eventually, as nothing was worth going on with such an unplayable save file. But first, I wanted to get to the bottom of that. I casually passed by one of the soft soil spots. Those where you could plant berries in it. There was a row of plants, but their sprites weren't moving and were in monochrome. As I approached them, examining them, they disappeared in the text. The Cheselberry crumbled to dust appeared. Examining the soil again, it said, "This soil is too dry to plant anything." There was definitely something big going on. Apparently, I was getting close to the source. I decided to get this over with and go straight to battle with Wallace. I flew to Lily Cove, and suddenly I realized what was going on. The eerie four-note melody and parodic flashes of the screen were those of when Groudon was let loose by Team Alpha. When that happened, I had gone straight to the Camp of Origins to battle it. I had no idea it could affect the rest of the world. But it just raised further questions after it sank in. Groudon was supposed to break loose after encountering it in the seafloor cave. How did Franco get there without dive? Or perhaps Groudon Drought could start frightening the world before even meeting it? Did it have to do with the game being left in that state for such a long time? From the game's point of view, the protagonist has seen the evil TM be part on to awaken a legendary Pokemon. Instead of chasing after them, he did nothing, cowering away from his destiny, never resuming his voyage as a Pokemon trainer. Was I witnessing the results of such neglectness? I started to find out. I quickly opened the menu and stopped the nation to Torpedo. That's why I was selecting it. Had to start. Soul had fainted. Without even a message or a warning, had lost all of its HP. Shortly, I went to the Pokemon Center. The queue was much longer than the one in Oldale, so much that it started outside of the building. It took me the good part of 15 minutes to have my team fixed. I went to the shop to buy some revive and potion just in case. Another queue. And the shop's prices were outrageous. Pokeballs and battle items were at normal price, but healing items cost 5 times as much as I remember. It was a little more than 50,000 gang and no valuables to sell. I was only able to afford 2 revives and a handful of potions. I started surfing down Route 124. No trainers inside, and even through I hadn't used no repels. I only met 2 wild Tentacool on the ride-along trip. Both of them only had about 1/4 of their maximum HP. When the battle started, the screen was getting brighter and the flashes more frequent. My brother started peeking at my screen. Curious. "You going to fight Groudon?" he asked. I replied with distracted, "Uh-huh." I couldn't take my eyes off the game. I used to dive and enter the cave. The cave. The scene there shocked me. Instead of water, there was an empty basin with some lava pools here and there. Runs of both teams were lying on the ground, luckily sprites of Poochienas. Neither moved or gave response when talked to. I got to the bottom of the cave, and Archie and Max were there. Groudon wasn't. I approached Archie, and the cutting started. He slowly walked over to the lava pool where Groudon was supposed to be. He turned around and said, very slowly, "You were right. You should have stopped us. Now, it's too late." Then he jumped into the pool of lava and disappeared. Groudon's cry, very slight, as if heard from the distance, could be heard. My brother was as dumbstruck as I was. Maxie was lying down like the grunts in the cave. No answer on him, neither. For no other idea on where to go, I headed to the Camp of Origin, hoping to battle Groudon. As I approached Sootopolis, I saw more and more sideways sprites of trainers, as if they were floating corpses. They were even losing color more and more as I went on. The only Pokemon I encountered, a Magikarp, started the battle with just a silver HP in a burn status. Even before I sent out my Pokemon, it took damage from the burn and was defeated. No victory theme, the screen just went back to this map. Opening my menu, I saw that 3 of my Pokemon were low on HP and in burn status, and even Blaziken through enough burn, had taken quite a bit of damage. I dove and surfaced inside the crater. Sootopolis didn't look anything like I remembered. Lava was pouring from the edges, pulling near the bottom. There was no sign of life. Shared buildings and fire blocked all the ways, but a very narrow path leading to the cave. As soon as I was in front of it, a wall crumbled and then a stream of lava covered the path. I was in just a few steps before I was trapped. Inside, oddly, Enough, I found two NPCs, Wally lying on the ground and Wally. I was genuinely surprised to see Wally there, until it hit me that to get to Victory Road before you, he logically had to get all the badges, so he had no reason to not to be there. I spoke to Wallace, to no avail. When I tried to speak with Wally, he told me in a message which speed was even slower than that of Archie. Everyone tried and failed. There's just the two of us left. Will you help me? The screen shook and a towel of lava appeared in front of the entrance. Wally hollowed down the stairs. I healed my team the best I could with my meager supplies and fell on him. I found him in front of Groudon. The room was littered with shared trainer and Pokemon sprites. Among them, there were familiar sprites. I recognized Watson and May on the top of a pile. Norman was laying face down in the middle of the room. I walked up to Groudon and the battle started. It was me and Wally against it. Bullshit! My brother cried from behind me. This game is a fake. There was no team-up battles before Emerald. I ignored him and went on. Groudon was at full HP and on level 90. The message Groudon's drop made the sun shine brightly. I appeared as soon as the battle started. My sprite and Wally's flashed as if they were Pokemon taking damage. I felt something hot trickling down my fingers. I checked the back of the console. The crayon, the cartridge had melted. The cartridge itself had gotten almost too hot to touch, and a faint smell of burnt paper came from what was left of the sticker. We just couldn't find any logical reason for that. Curiosity got the better of me, and I started the battle. I saw a Sharpedo. While he opened with a level 40 Magneton, it made sense. It was close to the level of the one he has when encountered in the Victory Road. It started to be weakened, like while Pokemon had met. Groudon used Earthquake, leaving Sharpedo with little HP and knocking out Magneton in one hit. Sharpedo used Surf, but in spite of it being super effective, it only took out a small chunk of health. The battle was extremely one-sided. It swept through my team easily, as well as Swablu, Delcatty, and Gardevoir, even outnumbering it 2-1. The difference in level and weakness state of our teams were too much of a disadvantage. As soon as Gardevoir had fallen, Wally's sprite took its place. The same happened to me as soon as Swellow was knocked out. There was no HP bars or anything. There was nothing to do. Groudon immediately got the next turn and used Flamethrower on Wally, making him faint. I braced for whatever was about to come, but nothing could prepare me for what happened after. The screen flashed an orange-red tint, so bright. I cried in pain as I instantly closed my eyes at the same time. I felt a sneered pain in my hand, forcing me to drop the console. It hit the ground, and the cartridge popped right out. The plastic around the cartridge slot has partly melted. The cartridge itself was completely unharmed. My head felt heavy. I fell back on my bed and lost consciousness. When we woke up the morning after, my brother was dizzy and complained of a headache. I had gotten the worst of it. I had a blistered burn on my hand, and something like a nasty sunburn on my face. Knowing I've been called crazy if I told what happened. I told my friends I had an accident while cooking a barbecue. It took 2 weeks for me to heal completely. Some days after, against better judgment, I had to give that cartridge one last look. First of all, I deleted the damn save file. I should have felt relieved that after I saw the only option was New Game, but that only lasted until I selected the New Game. There was no introduction, no speech from the possessor, no prompt to name my character. The screen was dedicated to the initial scene in Littlewood with the fan in front of the house, but there was no one, no characters, no NPCs. I couldn't open the menu. Trying to move around just moved the camera, without trying to leave this town on any side. I could see a white border, on the other side of which was a featureless gray land. Eventually, the map started zooming out. Somehow the town got smaller and smaller. Eventually, I could see that it was not the actual Littlewood, but a photo. Left in the middle of a patch of scorched ground, then Morphine started to enter the field of view. A broken Pokeball, chair of wood, rusty metal, stains of dried mud, and what I initially thought to be black and yellowish pebbles, but soon found out there were charred bones from skulls and particularly burned and buried in the ash. I couldn't bear to see that anymore. I tore the cartridge out of the console. I stuffed that cartridge into my closet. How to never have to see it again. I'm still friends with Franco, and I never mentioned the game to him at all. Neither did he to me, for it was obvious the fact that his ignorance and neglectness had doomed the world, albeit a virtual one. A couple of months later, I looked in the closet for that cartridge again, but couldn't find it. Probably mom had misplaced it while searching through my clothes. Yeah, I'll never see it again. Perhaps that's for the best. So that was Drought, a Pokemon creepypasta. And my final thoughts, it's actually a really well-written, great creepypasta. And they say that the Labyrinth Town creepypasta and let me see, the creepypasta based around let me see, what's that called? Pokemon, something about Pokemon Red or something. Just hang on. Okay, I just researched it. It's actually Strangle Red. And they say Strangle Red is the best Pokemon creepypasta of all time. Nope. It's all about the Drought one, you know. It's actually had like didn't have like every cliche creepypasta, you know, like oh, that game is haunted, something wrong with that one Pokemon and such. While here, it actually felt like this could happen in real life, you know. Something threatening for this world, you know, the whole world is gonna get burned away from big drought from this mysterious thing. That's what the creepypasta felt like. And I just wanted to applaud the writer for this creepypasta who made this. Seriously, he would deserve a platinum star. And I know it's pretty late at night, and the whole Pokemon Sword and Shield won't have like every Pokemon that wasn't part of the Galar region stuff, which is kind of pretty disappointing. But who cares? It might be be like the black and white of the, you know, the first black and white, but it didn't have like every Pokemon in that game and such. And it's just amazing that this is possibly one of the well-written creepypastas, more well-written than Strangle Red, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope you have a pretty great day, and subscribe for more videos on this channel. Hopefully Thursday is going to be a new video. So bye bye.